and it's like quiet, right? It's in the headphones. I'm like, oh, I have to mix this, right? I'm just gonna like disappear for a while and like edit out all those parts where I said the wrong word, and then send a mail to the guy who's editing the video, and I'll just be like, in that one word there, can you just like pan to the drummer, right? On the first show, on the Key show there, I definitely shat the bed, kicked it out, went back to sleep on a couple of lines there. I was like, come on! So we're in Stoke-on-Trent, right? I remember I played here with Strappic, like probably 15 years ago. That was my line. I was like, I'm not stoked on Trent.
You were here with Frontline Assembly a long time ago at the Week Sheet.
I wasn't. No, I never played with Frontline Assembly.
There was somebody like that.
Jed and Adrian played with Frontline Assembly. Not me, man. No, Frontline Assembly. I played on the records, but then yeah, they wanted to go on tour, and I just wanted to stay at home and sulk at that point in my life. I think we ended up writing City instead, right? So these whole guitar clinic things that we've been doing here are, I mean, it's interesting, right? But it's like as a wind down from these 4 shows, it's actually pretty cool because it gives me an opportunity just to like plunk away at a guitar and like talk shit for a while, which is like, you know, under the guise of it being like educational, I think it actually works quite well, right? But anyway, we're here. This is this PB guitar that I've been working with, and I think it's just been released now, and it's this signature one that I've been using for the past couple of years, and it's the first time I've used the production model, and it's cool. It's really a cool guitar, right? It's taken a little while to get it out, but you know, we're on the road to rock now, right? And over these past couple of clinics, I've been trying to clinics. It sounds so nice, right? It sounds like something you go to get a BD test or like something that Paul Gilbert would do, right? Saying this is the harmonic minor, which I'm not going to do, but I will explain the process in which I managed to write my peculiar and awkward brand of Canadian prog rock shenanigans, right? And so anybody been to these clinics before? Yeah. Yes? Okay, so I just come to say the exact same thing I said there, right? All right, so I'm in standard. No, I'm not. I'm in open tuning, and I have been for 20 some odd years, right? And the reason for that was Led Zeppelin, but also because I'm lazy at heart, even though I'm trying to compensate for a bankruptcy in my family when I was 15 by overworking myself. But I think other than that, at the heart of it, I'm absolutely a very lazy person. So open tuning works great for me because I can just go, my name's Devin, and I'm going to write a song now, I'm going to move it up to center tone. Right? So if you're predisposed to putting in the minimum amount of effort, open tuning is really good. But then after a while, when you realize that perhaps that overcompensation reveals itself in the quieter moments, you start finding patterns. And in this open tuning here, if you play the you know, heavy metal power chord, it's a suspended second. And I only know that because someone told me to do that. I've just been like, it's that shape. The Edie Brickell chord. Okay, so it's the Edie Brickell shape there, right? And I think in terms of writing music, just because everything I do, it's like I don't really think of it in terms of technical stuff. Like Dave, the guitar player, and Ryan, the drummer, and a ton of people I've worked with. And I got to work with the symphony and everything, and Mike St. John, he went to university for it. Well, all these people I'm surrounded by understand music, right? And I don't. However, I do understand patterns, which is also indicative of, the subconscious on some level as well. And so with that, I tend to just like not know what the notes are and just follow the instinct of where it's going. And perhaps the fact that everything I'm playing is suspended is indicative of the emotional response too. I think if you just suspend it, then when you finally let it into a major, it's like, oh, it's a release. Yeah. And without drugs or alcohol at this point, my release is pretty much tied to like hot baths, bubble baths. The other thing I was going to say in terms of how I write music, he said, making it seem more important than it actually is that because I do so much layering, I tend to work with octaves as the root of everything I do. And in this tuning, also underlining my lack of desire to complicate things. Although if there's a picture that needs to be taken with a guitar, you can bet I'll do this. But octaves in this tuning are great because you're like octave, 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 octave. That's the turn the punch bowl, that one. It's still an octave, right? So basically when I'm writing, I use this sort of a sound, clean sound with a bunch of echo on it, and I tend to write really quietly as well. I like being able to sort of like hear myself think while I'm writing, because with a big wall of distortion, unless you're writing something, you know, with a drummer and everybody's like, yeah, this song's about boobies and beer. Right? It's like, unless it's that, I just can't hear the other layers that I'm thinking, so a lot of times it's like, you know, like Stand off of Deconstruct, that's like as loud as it was written. And when I'm singing as well, because I very rarely write music without singing, so they all kind of go together, so I'm always like, literally like that loud, right? And I think with the clean things as well, it's like I can hear into what the layers will eventually be, and at least hear the process in my head while we're going. And getting back to octaves, most of the time while I'm writing, it's all based around octaves. And the reason why I do that is because if you start writing, you know, your big chords, say that's the chord that it's going to be. If you're doing that sort of thing, I usually record just the guitars going. That way when you're layering it all up, you can start to build it, and then the frequencies start to slot themselves. Because if you've got everything playing the same thing at the same time, it's just going to turn into a wall of poo, which was essentially the sound of my first 10 records, right? So I learned slowly, but I do learn. So yeah, I usually start with the octaves, and I'll double that, hard left, right with the guitars, and then I'll add like a different tonality over top with effects on it, then the bass and the keyboards, and you drop your little twangy thing. And then by the time you're done, then when I add, then by the time you add the vocals, you can imply whatever tonality it is with the layers, and it all becomes symphonic and groovy. Right? So yeah, octaves, there you go. That's the first part of Mike. Okay. And I'm gonna wank and do a bunch of crazy shit later.